Good morning, Tina Mitchell here, your local mortgage expert and your host of Coffee with a Superstar. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. I interview the best of the best in the industry so you can hear what they're doing and how they're doing it. Each week I travel to my superstar's office to invite you behind the scenes of their business. And this morning, my superstar is Kari Scott with John L. Scott West Seattle, and very excited to have a conversation with you, Kari. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and a little bit about Kari. Let me get my notes here. Kari has lived and conducted business in the Seattle metro area for over 20 years. She is recognized as one of the top agents in Seattle metro area, with 90% of her business is repeat and referral due to her Nordstrom quality service, which I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about today. Kari uses her time, energy, and resources to invest in client relationships. Her approach of investing in her clients give them the trust and confidence to not only use her again, but to refer Kari to family and friends and associates. Kari's team includes Lynn Sterling. Lynn, thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes for Kari's success. Her full-time licensed assistant, who is also, which I actually just met, and she's been with her for 17 years, so that definitely shows a superstar.
She can never leave.
She can never leave. Victoria, you can't ever leave either. And she offers top-notch service, just as Kari does, a wealth of information and willingness spirit to do whatever it takes to get the job done. Now, consistently in the top 1% for John L. Scott company-wide, 2000 to 2018. Again, this show is with the best in the industry based on the volume that they're doing. And if you listen to those years, 2000 to 2018, which means that she maintained her ranking even in the financial meltdown. So that's definitely a superstar. She's also certified luxury home marketing specialist, accredited staging professional, and certified quality street agent. So Kari, again, thank you so much for being here. So I always like to start out with asking the question, what do you contribute your success to?
I never give up. I just never give up. I mean, no matter what it takes, I have a very willing spirit and a very optimistic outlook on things. I think no matter what, I just will never give up. So one thing is that you can be defeated in this business. And when I first came into this business, an agent who was a very seasoned veteran agent said to me, "Are you sure you want to be in this business, kid?" And I looked at her and I thought, what is she talking about? And she said, "You better have a really tough skin because they're going to eat you up and spit you out. Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, well, I think so. I think I want to do it. And I thought I had just gotten my license and I was all shiny and fresh and ready to go. And that was the best wisdom anyone's ever told me. And I got it on day one of my license.
Yeah, so remember that whether you're new or you're halfway in your career or you're a seasoned agent, never giving up is a quality of a superstar, because we all have those days and we have those clients in those situations that, like Kari said, make you feel defeated. But a real superstar looks at that really as an opportunity to learn how to do things differently and how we need to change, whether it's changing the way that we're doing our business or changing with the natural change of the economy and what's happening in the market. And it really gives you a sense of fight in a good way, that come on, give me that challenge so that I can see how to do this better. Is that?
And I didn't realize that she gave me the best information I ever received until years later. And then I thought, oh boy, Helen was right.
Yes, yeah, I love that. So Kari, what about a biggest challenge that you've had to deal with, and how did you overcome that challenge?
You know, you just have to have a pretty strong sense of self, because you will hear no in your career when you think you've done everything right. And there's just a lot of times you just don't know what will tip a buyer or seller to want to choose you to be the representation. And it could be the words you choose that didn't resonate with them. It could be they just felt a connection with someone else. But the one thing you want to do is just really speak to a way that they can hear that you're 100% there for them, and that they feel the trust, confidence, and they feel you're competent to take care of them.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to be okay with the fact that you might not be the right person, or for whatever reason you may have not been at the top of your game, because we can't be all the time, right? And you've got to be able to release and let those clients go that for whatever reason it wasn't the right fit or the situation wasn't right for them.
Right, but I think the key to this is that you learn to easily let them go. We can go next. So if you do your lead generation, then you can choose who you really want to work with. And at this point in my career, I think, why wouldn't you work with me? I mean, I know what you don't know. I've been through what you'll never go through. And if I was selling or buying a house, I would want to work with me. So I kind of go into that mindset and just state your value as an agent, what you bring to the table, why you're not a discount broker, and how you can make their life so much easier by working with you, and that you will make them far more money than they'll ever pay you.
Yeah, and so I love what she said there. As you can tell, it's obviously with a high confidence level. And anybody that is doing great things in their market, whether it's the real estate or the mortgage space or any space, lead really with that confidence level and going in and giving it everything that you have. And I love that. And I love how you mentioned too, talk about discounted brokerage. So let's take just a second there, because I know a lot of real estate agents that are listening now and might be listening to our show later deal with that on a regular basis. So talk about how you bring that conversation up and get into that conversation about discounted brokerages, because obviously you are not.
I am not, and I never bring it up unless the client does.
Okay.
And then I state, I state my value. I find out what's really most important to them. And then I look and see if this is most important to them, how can I help them? If they say, my deal is I want the most money for this house and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yes.
And I always tell them, I will tell them how to make the most money for their house. But at the same time, I'm going to give them a little to-do list, so I have to see how willing they are to do the things that I would recommend doing, because after this many years, I know exactly what we need to do.
Yes.
And if they say, no, we're really willing to do whatever it takes, and then they say, but that commission thing, what about that commission thing? And they say, well, this is our retirement when we sell this house, and so we need everything we can. And I said, well, you know what? You absolutely do everything. You do need everything out of this house. And I said, so this is a huge decision for you. So you would not want to do it that someone who's willing to cut their commission in half just to get the listing, and then when they go negotiate for you, you'll never know how many tens of thousands of dollars that you've lost on the table. So you should be concerned, and this is important, and I know how to do it.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting in the real estate space, especially, and maybe it's because I'm involved in that space on a daily basis, obviously, being in the mortgage industry. But people tend to forget that there's discounted brokerages and shop in every single industry.
Yeah.
And clients can choose to purchase their clothes at Target, or they can choose to purchase their clothes at a department store. And so you're not going to be the best agent for somebody that's a discounted client. So if they are a discounted client, want that discounted service, you can figure that out early in the ball game.
And you can tell them there's a place to go.
Exactly.
And then it kind of, when you're ready to release them, because you know that you're just not the fit for them for your business model, because it is your business too.
Yeah.
They generally are like, oh, no, we're good. We want to work with you. And like, okay, great, let's get started. So if they see how I'm going to fight for my commission on the front end, then they really feel more secure that I'm going to really fight for their needs on the other end too. And choosing your words. I've been coached by Brian Buffini for June will be 20 years.
Which you just got back from his big event.
I just went to his Peak Experience Conference, and if you need a good book, Mel Robbins, The 5-Second Rule, spectacular book. I highly recommend it.
Victoria will post that for you guys.
Right, and just full of inspiration, motivation, and just helps keep you in check so that you don't get burnt out in this business, which you easily can do. So systems, dialogues, and a lot of things, it's the words we choose when we speak to our clients. So I've done a lot of work just working on my dialogues, and smiling at your listing presentation is huge, because people feel you in their heart then, and they know you're sincere, and they just they may be like this, but at the end then they're like this, and I'm truly there to help them, and I know I'm not for everybody. So by good lead generation, I can go next, and I only feel bad about it for like 10 minutes, then I've got the next client I have to go help. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I love that. And again, you hear her confidence in the dialogue that she uses. And when you're talking about discounted commission and you come in with the confidence of what you have to offer, instead of being nervous about how to communicate that, and then really thinking up front the dialogue that you're going to use. I always say, if you're not getting the results that you want, it's almost always because of the words that you're using. So it's just going back and rethinking how you're using those words. Maybe listening to yourself through video so that you can see the expressions that you have and the confidence level or lack of. You can really practice that, because the reality is it's the same conversations that you're having over and over again. So just take a step back and rethink how you can change change up that dialogue or that scripted message.
And I've learned through her 8-week burn, which I highly recommend.
Thank you so much.
I think I'm in week 7 of it now.
Yes.
And she has a huge section just on how you speak and what you say, that we just don't, we think we're communicating completely sincerely and that we're really there to help you, and that they just don't always hear it because you have to speak to someone's the way they listen, not the way you talk.
Yeah, well, thank you for the shout out for the program. We post it every week in the closing with the video. So yeah, to have an industry leader that does the volume that Kari is doing to go through my course, it is definitely a credibility piece or showing that it's a great course. So we'd love to have you join. So let's talk about, and by the way, you've seen, if you're a regular viewer, you've seen me do this before. We got this for Kari and both of us. We're having a little bit of hot flash over here, so feel free to grab your fan. You know, that's what we should do, is we should have some coffee with the superstar fans ready to go.
We should, just hit the button and then our hair will go.
Exactly, you know, get a little blowing. It is Facebook Live, so of course there's some little nerves, and you know, we want to present the best that we can on this live course, so that gets that anxiety, or not the anxiety, that adrenaline going in a really great way.
We're just excited.
We're so excited to be here with you, yes. So on that note, let's talk about excitement and your favorite marketing tip that you can share with our listeners today.
Well, it goes back to being consistent, because I don't think it's just one. I think it's the sum of all the parts. In fact, every year I pick a word, and this year my word was consistency, and my accountability partner gave me this little bracelet and it says consistency. So I wear it to remember that I need to be consistent, you know, in my thought, in my deed, and how I am communicating with my clients. Keeping in constant contact and making sure I take time off for myself. So 2019's word is consistency.
I love that. And I come up with a word every year as well. My word for 2019 was trust, but it wasn't trust in what you might think it is. It's just that I turned 50 years old. I'm 51 this year, but I was 50 in 2018. And I just thought, I just need to trust myself.
Yeah.
I need to trust my judgment and trust that I'm going in the direction that I'm supposed to be going, and to follow that process. So
and if you can't do it now, when can you do it?
Exactly.
It's like we don't have 1,000 years.
Yes, yeah.
As my mom, who's very wise, says, today is your someday. She told, quick story. So we were thinking about remodeling our house for years, and every year I'd write this goal. We were going to do this major remodel on our house. And I told my mom like 3 years ago, I said, Mom, I keep writing this goal and I'm not doing it. What's going on? She goes, what are you waiting for? And I go, I don't know. I keep saying I'll do it someday. And she said, today's your someday.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been going with today's my someday is my theme right now too. It's like, if you don't do it now, when? It's not like we're going to do this all over again.
Exactly. The decision that you make this second is going to affect the second after, and I love that.
My turn.
But Kari, I would love for you to share, and you know, her marketing tip is to be consistent, because there's so many marketing ideas and there's so many things that you can choose from. I always talk about the oak tree. You can hit an oak tree 1,000 times in 1,000 different spots and nothing will happen. But if you hit it 1,000 times in the exact same spot, you're going to take the tree down. And it really doesn't matter what spot you hit it in. It's just picking a spot, strategically deciding the best place possible, but once you've made that decision, to stick with it so that you can. So there's so many marketing ideas out there. So find what works and resonates with you and stick with it and continue to adjust and improve it as you go along the way. So I'd love for you to share, because you're really a master at my two things that I see from Kari. She's a master with her events and getting connected with her clients that she's worked with and building around that. And you're also you're very good with gifts and really branding through gifts and making it fun. So share a little bit about those two things.
I start every January. My assistant and I, we make a marketing calendar, and we decide what we're going to do for the whole year, what our parties are going to be, what are events that we're going to hit, what is our pop buys, that we call them pop buys, which you pop by to see a client. We
From Brian Buffini.
Call it pop buy, and what our pop buys are going to be. I look at the conferences I'm going to go to, and when I'm going to market myself to other agents across the country, because I get a lot of cross-country referrals too from my friends around the country. And then we just systematically go through them, and sometimes we're punting like, oh my God, I've got to get this pop out in 3 weeks, and then we're at the printer and we're running around. I mean, it's not perfect science, but we're like squirrels. We just keep moving.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And I want to go back to what she said about getting business from other agents, because I think a lot of agents miss that opportunity in such a big way, because when you're getting involved in the real estate community and giving back and going to these events, you're fostering and building those relationships. But even right here in town, what about, and I've said this before, I talk about it in my coaching program, what about the agents that are in your market but not directly in your market? Meaning, what about those South End agents that are industry leaders? You can get the data from the MLS to find out who's doing the business, and just place the call and ask them if they sell real estate over on the east side or in West Seattle. And if they say, no, we don't do, we'll refer that. That is a perfect person for you to culture those relationships with, just like you would any other B2B, business to business relationships, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I find that our traffic is really bad. So I kind of picked out my area. When it goes past my area, depending on my client load at the time, I have agents all over the place that I meet, from Auburn to Tacoma, you know, up to Snohomish, some in Redmond. I mean, I have to keep an area that I can actually drive and get places in the day without all this traffic.
Yeah, and so if you do that, how great to strategically pick the agents that you're introducing to, the ones that also don't work your area, so it's a back and forth relationship. It is a win-win, and there's such huge opportunity for that type of business.
Huge, and they appreciate it, because we all like to work in an area that we like to drive in, instead of feel like we're making the trek up to Snoqualmie or North Bend or Redmond or other places that are, I mean, our city traffic can get a lot of gridlock. Oh, sorry.
But our phone's always ringing, right?
It's not on.
Oh. Okay. Facebook Live. Love it.
Facebook Live.
Love it. And even connecting with agents over in Eastern Washington, and they've got clients that are going to be selling their properties here and moving over there. So so much opportunity to be able to network and connect. Just make sure that you're strategic on the agents that you connect with, and you're actually connecting with agents that are doing business.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I highly vet any agent before I'll ever put my name to them.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
So what about a call to action, Kari? If we have a real estate agent, whether they're new in the industry or they're seasoned in the industry and they want to take their business to the next level, what would be your call to action for them to do today after our Facebook Live?
Well, the first thing I would say is there's no NBA team, there's no baseball team, there's no golf protege that ever won their game and went to the Masters or won the championship without a coach. So for me, it's real estate can be very isolating, because you're on your own a lot, and you sit at home the day you get your license, you scratch your head and think, where's my clients going to come from? So just having a roadmap, because there is no book. After you get your license, you think you've studied this big test, but we all know we don't really use anything on that test. Exactly. So if you can put together a roadmap to tell you what you need to do and give you some how-tos and some step-by-steps, and if you just do one thing at a time, I always like to have 3 things I'm working on. My calls, my notes, my pop-bys. I do client lunches, I do coffee time, which is fun to do with you today, and I have a lot of people to dinner. I meet them for a happy hour. I mean, face-to-face will be your very best, and if you follow it up with a personal note or a phone call thanking them, and really listen to where your clients are at. Like, I send a lot of Amazon books, because I like to read, and I listen to where they're at, and then I think, oh, like I just sent my client who has some purging to do in their house. I sent them Marie Kondo book, because she has the Kondo method for decluttering your house.
Awesome.
And so I send things like that, because I just want them to know I'm listening to them, because the best thing we can do is really listen to our clients. But if you don't have any, who are you going to listen to? So you've got to get out there and do open houses if you're a brand new agent, so you can start meeting people.
Yes.
And make a list of everyone you know, and go back to your existing clients, because so many realtors don't ever contact their client after they sell them the house. And so my clients hear from me probably sometimes more than they want to, but they're friends now, and we can have quick, succinct conversations. I invite them to parties, I bring them pop-bys, and actually they're my friends, so it's really worked out to be fun and joyous for me. But we all have that client where we call and we go, are they going to answer, or do I leave a message? Are they going to answer when you leave a message? So when you leave the message, ask them to call you back, and then follow it up with a text, and you'll generally get a response. But the main thing is being face to face and voice to voice with people.
Yeah, and so she talks about being consistent, following a plan, picking one thing to do it or a couple things, working on those, coming in, and today is the day. That's not the term that you use.
Today is your someday.
Today is your someday. I love that.
I love that one too.
Everything that she talks about is getting connected, lead with confidence, also have that great that smile and that presence that people just feel warm when they're around you, so that you have that balance of strength and approachability.
If you lead with a servant's heart, people will know that you're really there for you. Like,
yes.
You can do a lot of things on YouTube. You can get a root canal on your own on YouTube. You can do a lot of things. It's like this, people don't understand this, and so it's really our responsibility as agents to really explain what we do so we can show our value. Because they don't know that there's like 142 things we do for every transaction. They have no idea.
And I always say, make out that list of that 142 things that you do from open to close, and give them that list. This is what we're going to be doing, and don't worry about. I always say, don't worry about what you need to do. All you need to do is follow our lead, and we'll let you know the next step. But here's the 142 things that we're going to do, and we're going to keep you focused on one step at a time, and just follow our lead, and we'll let you know what to do. And so then you're letting them know everything that's happening behind the scenes, because like Kari said, they have no idea.
Well, they think that you just get your 3%, and it's been 2 weeks, the house has been on the market 3 days, and they overpaid you. So I want them to know exactly that they don't overpay me, that I made them a lot of money. The 3 days on market was really good if we're lucky enough to stay in this market, and that they feel so happy about the results, they can't wait to refer me. And I do ask them for referrals, because I say my greatest thanks you could ever give me is to refer me to a friend or family member that I could help based on your experience that you're happy with. Share the word, because then I don't have to spend so much time marketing myself or generating new leads, because my clients are like walking, talking billboards. And I mean, I love them for that. I want to be there, and I want to be there for anyone that I work with.
Yeah, and pay attention to the signs where that opportunity presents itself during the process. If somebody says how great you are, instead of just saying thank you, that's my job, say, well, thank you for recognizing how hard that we worked for you. The best compliment that you could do is an introduction. If something is really challenging, and I talked about this with my last superstar, and it's really knowing those appropriate times or those best times to get the best result. If there's something challenging that's going on and you have that win, to ask for that introduction. So be really strategic when you put those times in there. And I would love to go back to the phone calls, because I think, and you made a little comment on that might get nervous. Should I leave a voicemail? Should I not leave a voicemail? And so people, I hear a common thing is, what do I call about? So what are you calling about when you're calling your clients that you've closed a loan with 5 years ago?
I just call and say, can you believe today it's been 5 years since you sold your house? And I just wanted to know I'm thinking about you, and I hope you're loving where you're living. And if you'd like to know in this current market, because everyone wants to know what their house is worth, I'm here for you. If you know of anyone that I can help, that's a friend or family member, I would be honored to receive your referral. And I'm having a party coming up, next quarter, and I'll be sending you an invitation. I hope that you can come, and if there's anything I can do to be of help since then, or I'd love to see your voice or hear your voice just to say hello.
Yeah, I love that. I love to hear your voice just to say hello. And I heard you say I'm thinking about you. I use that, as well. I was thinking about you, and I wanted to.
And some people, if it's not their anniversary, if I'm in an area, I will call in and say, hey, I just drove by your house. Your yard looks fantastic. I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? I'm having a party in a month or two. I want you to just know about it. I hope that I can see you then. If you get a minute, call me and say hi. I'd love to say hello to you.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, if I'm doing pop-bys and I'm out at people's houses, and I kind of have my clients, my A pluses, my A's, my B's, and then my D's. My D's are my deletes.
Yeah.
Because we all have a few deletes. Let's be honest, we do.
Sure.
Some people you think, and I try to keep my database at a certain number, because it's manageable that way.
Yes.
Because I just don't want 500 people in my database, because I can't physically get to everybody in a year. It's too much. I can't be personal. So my A's and my A pluses, those are my walking, talking billboards.
Yes.
My A's are really good clients who would probably refer me if they have the opportunity.
Yes.
My B's are those that I have to kind of educate on what I need as far as a referral, and they would refer if they were taught, if they were asked. And so, because some people's personality is more like that, some people they're not. So they're all good, and I love them all the same. But Yeah.
But you have to, because time-wise, you have to figure out who the best of the best are and categorize them. So if you listen to what she said, she very strategically has them broken down. And what you'll find is people that refer will always refer if you give them the attention that they know you have not forgot about them, because then they won't forget about you. People that don't refer, majority of them will never refer. That's just the type of people. But there are some that fall in the middle that you don't quite know yet, and that's why you have to put them through that process.
Right.
And what we do behind the scenes in our database, find a good CRM, something that you can use. And how do you manage? What do you use to manage your?
I have Star Analyzer,
Okay.
which is a program that we use,
Yeah.
and
And it's built for real estate agents.
Well, is that, yes, primarily real estate
Okay,
agents.
okay.
And it's a contact manager, and it's pretty
Yes.
easy to use.
Yeah.
Staranalyzer.com.
Okay.
I've used it for years. And then there's always those people, because I mail every month too. Everyone, I mail, and then they get some of the personal things like every quarter, but I mail something out, my item of value every month.
Yeah.
And it will go like, I've had this happen multiple times in my career. Well, I won't hear from a client for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And but yet I've invited them to parties, they didn't RSVP, I've sent them notes, I've left them messages, I've dropped pop-bys at their house, and I don't hear from them. And then they call me and they act like we've been in touch the whole entire time.
Yes.
They're like, oh my God, we're ready to sell our house, and we found this other one. Will you show this can you show this to us? Oh, it's so good to hear from you, la la la. And you're like, oh my God, you've been MIA for 4 years.
Yes.
And
But not really.
But not really. From their perspective, we've been in touch every month.
Exactly.
In my perspective, I wanted to go, hello, are you there?
Yeah. And so Kari talks about mailing, which I think is so cool, because majority of people are not doing all of the touches anymore, because it's so easy just to take advantage of technology.
Right.
But you don't want to take away from those personal touches, and even more so now because you don't have the same level of competition that we did when the technology wasn't so easy, just sending emails and text messages and things like that. So get something direct in mail, and so that they can physically have something to open up. And I was going to make another comment on something that you said. I never take notes, and I don't talk with my superstars prior to, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about with our conversation. And my mind is always just, thinking about how to chime in on things that. So, anyways, I just shared that because I had a little bit of a forgot thought there of something that I wanted to mention. But, anyways, it's okay.
Hey,
It's Facebook Live.
This is real.
This is real. It's totally real. So we have 3 minutes, Kari.
Okay. God, that's been the fastest 27 minutes.
It does. It goes by really, really quick. So in our last 3 minutes, why do you do what you do? What's important to you outside of business?
Well, outside of business? Oh, my family, my kids. My son just got married. We're finishing up our construction project after like 2 years. And it's great. We're happy we did it.
Because someday's today.
Someday's today.
Yeah.
Today's your someday.
Yeah.
And now I'm telling my husband, well, what's my next someday project going to be? Because it kind of motivates you. You get some sort of personal empowerment where you can check the boxes off when you do these things, and you just makes you dream bigger. Yeah. And so I think, what am I going to reach for next? Because we've got lots of stuff in the works, and we've got a nice trip planned to Europe in a few weeks, and everything's good. I mean, the market's good. It's fast. And yet sometimes it's slow. I feel you have to have your negotiating skills at an ultimate high right now, because buyers and sellers are not sure what the market is. So the buyers think everything's a deal, and the sellers think everything is still really high price. So I think that's why they need a qualified agent that has experience and education to really and just been doing it in a few different markets to know how to handle them. And that's why some of the new agents, and I was new once too, so I can't say anything about being new. But right now, a skilled person is invaluable.
Yes.
I think they are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if you are a skilled person, use that. If you're not a skilled person, then because you're new in the industry,
Get a coach.
You're going to find something else. Yes, and get a cool coach.
Yeah.
Well, Kari, thank you so much for spending time with me this morning and sharing your business success with our listeners. I really, really appreciate it.
I love that you talk as fast as I do.
Yeah, we do talk a little bit fast. Sometimes I try to slow it down a little bit, but yeah, you're just really excited.
Yeah.
And you're just, sharing
It's
things.
been great.
It's great. And we got a lot of content, a lot of information completed today. So I wish all of you the best of success in your business and in your life. And it is possible. It's possible to have a great business and to have a great life. When you really dial things in like Kari, be very specific, reach for the stars, make a decision that today is the day that you're going to get that thing done. And on that note as well, when you have something big that you want to do to accomplish, what I found the best way for me is to commit to doing it to somebody that means a lot to you.
Yeah,
not somebody
accountability.
that's close to you, but somebody, if you let them down, it would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that way it gives you that accountability to move forward with it. And you'll be surprised at how many really big things that you can actually
We all have
accomplish.
patterns in our brain that we were born with when we were small kids.
Yes.
And sometimes those old tapes can come in and keep you from actually elevating to your highest purposed self.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes it's just taking that minute to reprogram those, because you can reach as high as you want. It's really up to you. Belief in yourself is the number one thing that will cast you into whatever level you want to be at.
Yeah, what a great way to end our show today, and great final words from our superstar, Kari. Kari, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching Coffee with the Superstar, whether you're here live or you're able to catch it after the show. It will be listed on Facebook. Check out my coaching program. I would love to spend a powerful 8 weeks with you. It's virtual, so no matter where you're at, you can join. And definitely tune in.
Do that.
Thank you, Kari. Definitely tune in for our next Coffee with the Superstar, which will be the same time, different location next Monday. And make it a great day. Thank
Bye.
you.